Well, good morning. Morning of the tournament. Still a little sleepy. The rain's starting to let off, which is good. I thought it was going to rain a little bit more this morning, so the ride won't be as bad. It's a little colder than expected, about 51 degrees. It's probably the warmest morning we've had this week or close to it. But we got the old Ranger loaded up with the trotting. We're ready to go. I got my rods rigged. Should be a good one. I hope they're biting. I hope they're biting there. We're gonna run. If they're not there, we're not gonna waste time. We're gonna run back and scrap up a limit. If not, so yeah, just follow along and we'll see you out on the water. Christian, where the hell is our fish?
Found them.
Yeah. Bingo. That sucked. We pulled up. First spot, we caught 3. And after that, nothing at the river.
No, God! No, God, please, no! No!
I just sprayed garlic all over me. That's about how my day went. So we pulled up to our first spot. It was some boulder rock. The wind was on it like really, really hard, as the wind was all day. It was super windy all day. We still caught 3 from there, but we have one that was close, like really close, and I just couldn't keep it. It wasn't like it was like a eighth of an inch shy, no matter how I fanned it or turned it. So I just couldn't keep that one. Sometimes, you know, you throw them in the live well a little bit, they relax, and then, you know. But I was like, we're catching them all right to start out with. I'll just throw it back in. Wouldn't have mattered anyways. I mean, we ended up 0. So, but we caught 3 there at that first spot, cranking, all on crankbaits. Kind of just similar to how, you know, I was catching them. And then it became apparent there's a little cut that's kind of like a spawning flat out of these rocks. And whenever I went to go in that, I didn't even get close to being able to go in there. It was so muddy. And I went in there no issue last weekend. I'd say the water was about a foot down, a foot and a half down from last weekend. So the water kind of pulled out, and that kind of ruined the spots I really thought we were going to catch them. That we had went last weekend. It caught them, you know, like dirt shallow. My plan was to throw, like, I have these floating rattle traps. I was going to throw those, you know, and go in those super shallow bays where they're just getting up on, you know, any type of structure, warming up there. But, you know, that kind of threw a curveball at us. I mean, we fished a couple of creeks that I typically do pretty well in this time of year up the river. And we didn't catch another fish. It was around 12 o'clock. So I said, you know what, we're going to have to move to catch some fish. And it ended up being the right decision, I think. I mean, we went down to the another part of the lake, a little bit closer to launch, and I think we caught 6 or 7 down there. None of them were keepers. They were about the size of what I was catching in practice, is like 14 inches or so. And they just weren't big enough, you know, not the size that we needed. I caught those. We caught some on a Ned rig off of like 45-degree banks. And then the others were cranking. And that really what it was ran up the river and they weren't there, and that's what happens when they're not there. I mean, they weren't biting. I couldn't find them. Once they moved out of those bays, I didn't know where they went. Tried to fish around there and just never got bit. So they kind of shut off for me up there. But you live and you learn. You know, maybe I make that decision a little quicker. Realize I'm not able to access those areas, and that I should probably move instead of trying to find those fish and just fishing spots I know up there that I didn't practice. So that may be that's something I've got to think about before the next tournament. And I think I just stayed down there too long. I think I should have called it quits around 10 o'clock. Like I had previously thought about, you know, if I don't have a keeper by 10, run on the way back and then try to scrap up a limit, you know, on the lower end there. But first one back, I wasn't too confident in the lower end, and that's really what got me. It's because every time I've been to the lower end, I hadn't caught any size. And it stayed that way, even in the tournament. But at least I was catching fish. At least I was around some. So I'm going to go back to the drawing board. I'm going to get ready for this April tournament. We're going to get another Garmin graph on the boat. Have all Garmins, and they're going to be linked. So this one's going to be a little more flipping docks and then offshore stumps and stuff, which is also what I fished this week, but it just didn't pan out. But thank you guys for watching the first video. Sorry I didn't wax on them like that, but you know, one thing I've learned is you're gonna have bad tournaments, but that doesn't define you as an angler. You know, you can always bounce back. You know, you can always catch them another day. So you're like me, you throw that 0 up for the first tournament of the year, so you gotta put it behind you and move on to the next.